It is a beautiful day for some DSA, and welcome back to the Cozy Club, my friends. My name is Cozy Gamer, and in today's video, we're finally getting around to the top 10 free-to-play teams within Disney Sorcerer's Arena. Now, I get asked this all of the time, and I want you guys to go ahead and start with my free-to-play farming guide. You can find that up on the top here. That's going to help you really know what characters to farm in your Disney Sorcerer's Arena journey. But today, we're going to look at the top teams of characters that you can put together and punch up against those chubby dolphins and whales that you see within the live PvP arena or within any live PvP opportunities within DSA. Now, I want to go ahead and preface this video. What is free to play? I see a lot of conversation about this, and I want to go ahead and address it at the start of the video so that you guys know exactly what to expect. So, free to play characters, in my opinion, are any characters that you can get, well, free, right? So looking at more of a detailed look at this, let's look at the Beauty and the Beast characters. Now, Beast obviously is going to be a pay to play character, whereas Belle and the rest of the team is going to be free to play. You guys can unlock them at any time. You can start farming and getting these characters unlocked. And so, yes, they're going to be free to play characters. But within Disney Sorcerer's Arena, there's some confusing events and different things that come by here and then. So I want to really focus on who do I deem free to play. Now, let's start off with legendary events. People like Elsa, Baymax, and Beast. Now, starting off with Elsa. Elsa at this point has been around several times, past 2 times. And so I'm easily going to say at this point, Elsa is a free-to-play character. If you wanted to get Elsa, you can go for the Frozen team and you can unlock Elsa. However, we're not going to include characters like Baymax yet, as he hasn't been around enough. And then certainly we're not going to include Beast. Now, looking at some other event characters like Jafar, Scar, and Manticore. Well, Jafar and Scar are a little bit more pay-to-play heavy, whereas Manticore and Gizmo Duck are actually a little bit more free-to-play. If you have the characters and you dedicate the time, I am going to deem them a little more free to play. Manticore takes around 3 to 4 events to unlock at full capacity, so we will include her into today's video and some of those other event characters. Obviously, Moana and Maui are not free to play. They're going to be more to the pay to play. But now that we've knocked out exactly what that definition is, let's go ahead and start today's video. All right, Cozy Club, let's go ahead and jump in the teams. We're going to rapid fire through all 10 teams. Now, keep in mind a few notes before we get started. A lot of these characters you're going to see repeat themselves on these teams. Obviously, the best characters in the game make the best teams in the game. So there'll be some alternates that you can sub out for other characters, whether you just want to put your favorite character in there like Genie, or if you have some different options. I'm going to give you guys as many options as possible within these teams. All right, Cozy Club, so quickly taking you through these graphics, you're going to see the main team right here. Now, if there's anyone questionable on this team to you, all these additions or great additions here on the top right, these are going to be great people to plug in, especially if you don't have one of the heroes down below. There are some heroes that are going to be important that you can't replace, like on this Maurice team that we'll be looking at. You can't replace Maurice, but you guys will know from kind of how I'm explaining the teams who you can and who you cannot replace. Now, the teams you're looking at may not be the best possible teams, but you can surely mix and match. Bubbles is obviously going to be a great plug-and-play character for just about any team, guys. And so go ahead and take this and Gantu, like we've talked about, will also be great to plug into these teams. And so be sure to know that the best plug and plays can fit into these teams quite nicely. Now let's go ahead and start out with the Frozen staples. If you decided to go after Elsa and you have a somewhat successful Frozen team, let's look at the best possible teams that you can make out of them and what characters that you can sub in to get the biggest bang for your buck against other characters in live PvP. Starting out with team number 1, you're going to have Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, Hero, and Dash. This is going to be the OG meta. This was the team that was reigning the arena, reigning the tournaments back in about June-ish area, and now it is a free-to-play team that is still holding up very successfully. Now, I see a lot of people say, well, anything that was the meta back then is not good now, and that's just simply not the truth. Hero has been a meta character since back in July, and he still reigns supreme to this day. And so investing in these teams, for the most part, are going to carry over from meta to meta with a few changes. So looking at the Frozen staples, if you invested heavily into the Frozen faction and you've got yourself an Elsa, this is going to be the first team that you're going to want to run. You're going to have the core Frozen 3. You're going to have Anna, Kristoff, and Elsa. Now, you're gonna have to run a hero lead even if you don't have any other tech characters. If you invested hard into Frozen, go ahead and pivot and at least grab hero, make him your lead, because honestly, these days, Ana leads are just not cutting it in live PvP. You're just going to be too slow to compete. Now, Dash is amazing, and this team is amazing in the raids as well, but Dash is going to be really what feeds a lot of the damage and serving as a great distraction when the opponent is going for Elsa that they're going to try to shut down. You're going to have that hero lead. You either want to feed it to Elsa or Dash or even Kristoff to give off the guaranteed crit, which both Elsa and Dash are going to significantly boost their damage from it. Now for team number 2, let's say you want nothing to do with tech. You don't want Hero Hamada, you want nothing to do with them. Well, the next best team is the exact team we just talked about. You're going to run that on a lead, but put Bubbles in place of Hero Hamada. So you're going to have that Bubbles kind of lead to help out. Or you can put Bubbles in place of Dash and really just feed an Elsa team. So team 2 is essentially going to be Kristoff, Ana, Elsa, Bubbles, and you can either do hero or Dash depending on what character you're further away from. Now, if you're closer to the beginning game or you're following the farming guides, you will have Dash a little bit later, so Bubbles will serve as a great kind of filler spot to amp up your Elsa as quickly as possible. And just a side note altogether, Barley actually fits in this spot very well where Bubbles is, because he can amp up Elsa very quickly for a fast show yourself with some very high damage and critical damage up, which is going to cause some havoc on your enemies. Rounding out our Frozen teams with team number 3, they're all about the same with just a little bit of subtle differences, but they all play a lot differently. That first team is about Dash. The second one is pumping up Elsa. And this third one is a lot of fun and something that's kind of a variation of what I'm even running at the top PvP. We've got the Frozen Belle team. Now, this is going to kick off the Belle free-to-play teams that are on the rise, and Belle is a phenomenal free-to-play character that I think everybody should invest in. Looking at the Frozen free-to-play team, this is no hero, no Bubbles, strictly the Frozen 4 and Belle. And you're going to have Belle behind Sven so that you can continuously call Sven and call Elsa and call Ana to assist over and over. You are going to have so many basic attacks out on the field between Ana's basic calling more basic attacks. You're going to have Sven assisting continuously. Kristoff is going to call Sven to attack. Belle is going to call up to 2 different characters to attack. And so you're going to have just so many different teams. Belle is a perfect fit that can cleanse people, put Intimidate and Shaken out on the field, and then obviously call her allies to attack. This is also going to be with an Ana leadership and really probably one of my favorite Frozen teams that doesn't take a whole lot of investment if you already went after Elsa. Now, sticking with Belle for team number 4, it's going to be somewhat of a same iteration of what we just talked about. We've got Belle, Mulan, Kristoff, Sven, and Fred. So you're going to reign with double tanks, and you're going to have Sven pumping out the big basic attacks, followed by Mulan and Belle also assisting on these basic attacks with Belle. If you guys just saw, I did a Kingdom video about Mulan and Princesses on the Rise, and Mulan is definitely someone that you want to invest in as a free-to-play player. Now, Fred can also be, Jasmine or any other of these tanks that you have in your inventory, but you want this double tank and you want to feed the damage through Mulan and Sven. So this is going to be team number 4. Love the iteration of Belle here, and it's a very solid team altogether. Team number 5 is going to be a Kingdom Belle team, my friends. You're going to have a great Kingdom team in Shan Yu, Sheriff of Nottingham, Jasmine, Genie, and Belle. So you're going to have Shan Yu as the lead, speeding up your Kingdom team and really getting them going. Sheriff is going to lay out the big hits and counter some of those hard characters, even countering Beast very effectively. Jasmine for that great tank and Raja. Genie is going to cleanse the effects, and Belle, of course, is going to be doing the basic attacks and really beefing up this team altogether. Now, you want to run Shadow on this team, definitely. You're going to have Belle be calling Genie to assist over and over, so you can shadow either Belle or shadow Genie, and you definitely have yourself a very solid Kingdom team. Jafar isn't really free to play, so I couldn't put him in here specifically, and Aladdin, he's phasing out a bit to Sheriff of Nottingham. So in my opinion, this is definitely the Kingdom team to run if you are free to play, to give yourself the best chance to punch up against the meta. Now, team number 6 is our last Belle focused team. Belle is going to be a part of so many different teams like I talked about, and we're going to dip into the Big Hero 6 team. Now, full Big Hero 6 is technically a team on today's video. Very solid, even without Baymax. You're going to be very fast, putting out a lot of debuffs, and just overall being a very effective team. However, if you want to leave out either Wasabi or Go-Go and place in Belle, you are going to get some crazy basic attacks from Wasabi, and we're in a meta, in an arena full of helpful effects in general. And so getting Wasabi just pumping out the damage, stripping the helpful effects on the field, and critting on shield users, he's just a great person to pair up Belle with. So again, you have Belle fitting on all of these teams: Frozen, Oceanics, and even Tech. So let's go ahead and move on to team number 7. Now, before we jump to the next team, if you are a free-to-play or pay-to-play and you want some help on your roster overall, feel free to join and support the channel and join the Patreon family. If you join the last tier, you get a roster review where I'm going to go through your entire roster, look at your teams, your spells, and everything, and tell you what I recommend you to farm and who to go after next. Cozy Club, I make this customized for every single person. I don't repeat. I look at your roster individually. So if you feel like supporting the channel and getting a full roster review, the link is down in the description below. Now, we just talked about the Big Hero 6 Belle teams, and let me just preface by saying the Big Hero 6 squad can form a ton of different great combinations. You can put Big Hero 6 and plug in a bunch of different characters like Genie, Bubbles, and Sheriff, all types of different combinations and duos to make some great free-to-play teams. But we could go on kind of an endless tangent on that. So if you want to go after Tech, there's a ton of different great teams for them. But looking at my absolute favorite Tech build within the game, that has probably, if you're not listening to the video, this is where you want to pay attention, Cozy Club. This is easily going to be, in my opinion, the best punch-up team for free-to-play users. We're going to be looking at a Hero, Maurice, Dash, Fred team. And now, I didn't mention the 5th user, and really that 5th spot just needs to be another tank. So Cozy Club, breaking down a little bit of the science behind this team, you're gonna have Maurice pumping up double crits on Dash, allowing you to essentially destroy the enemy team. You're gonna build up Dash while protecting him with 2 different tanks. Now, if you have Mr. Incredible, that's gonna be my favorite tank to pair up with this, giving Dash a little bit more critical chance and more damage overall. And Mr. Incredible can reduce the cooldowns on Dash, making it very effective and a great tank combination in general. Not to also mention that Mr. Incredible is going to auto taunt whenever Dash goes below a certain health threshold. But again, you can put any tank within Bob's spot, whether it be Jasmine, Kristoff, just somebody else to get a taunt out there. You're going to have Fred. Obviously, he's just going to be fast under that hero lead, getting a very fast taunt out there. And Maurice does have that tech tag, which is really going to help out, boost up Dash right away. And then obviously, Hero is there just to get his lead out there and get everybody rolling. So essentially, you can even put Calhoun, get Tex on the field, and then just get Dash protected. And you can punch up even against full-blown meta teams. You can fight with this team all the way up. And my favorite thing about this by far is that, in my opinion, there's no question about it, Maurice and Dash should be together as one of the top priority farms for free-to-play users. Now, if you're just now starting, obviously go with the farming guide. But if you've been playing a while, go and farm Dash and Maurice. They're going to help you in every game mode, especially within raids and PvP. You're going to have Maurice being able to pump up Dash for the raids, getting massive damage for your entire club. And then also, if they don't take care of Dash, you're simply going to wipe the teams. I mean, just look at some of this damage on the field over and over. We're just hitting massive numbers, and this just has the best punch-up ability of any team. Sticking with the Incredibles, we're going to go with the Incredibles 3 for team number 8. And there's a reason why they are the Incredibles 3. We're going to be giving a full video on them. Violet, Dash, and Bob are honestly the best Incredibles to run right now, and run them with Anna and Elsa for a very effective team that is going to be a little on the slow side, but you're going to have a lot of power behind this team and a lot of different synergies running all at once. And there you go. You're going to have a very solid duo team, and it's just going to work out beautifully. Now, looking at team number 9, you've got the Onward trio. Now, we already talked about Mana Core. If you solely invest into Ian and Barley, you're going to be able to get Mana Core for this trio of a team, but she can be replaced as well. Ian and Barley make up one of the best duos within the game, and they can really punch up to a lot of different phases within the game, like raids, but also they can punch up against some great meta teams. So the team is going to be Ian, Barley, Mana Core, and you're going to have that all ran under a Judy Hopps lead. And now for this 5th spot, this is where a lot of customization choices get to come in. It can be a ton of different characters depending on kind of what you want to go for. You're going to have Scrooge McDuck, who's going to be great with Ian, who spreads those helpful effects to Scrooge to punch up a little bit harder, and it's going to work under that Judy lead. Merlin is going to marry beautifully with Manicore, allowing him to use tactics and cooldowns on Ian to punch up even harder. And lastly, Calhoun is going to serve as a great overall downtown hero tank that can assist her allies over and over. So if you do go for the Onward team, you need to focus and strictly go for them. Don't be distracted by all the flashy side subjects and objects. Come join the Cozy Club Discord. We've got an awesome member in there who knows just about everything about Onward. Patrick is his name, so reach out to him, or Gus Chickens is what he goes by. Really great guy with Onward in general. But that is going to be the Onward team for team number 9. And lastly, my friends, team number 10. The last team of today's list is going to be the Sensational Six. Now, I know what you're saying. We saved this team for last because right now we don't have the Sensational Six. We have the Sensational 3, and for that matter, they're just out of reach for right now, mainly for a lot of people. They're late farming. They just came out, so a lot of people don't have this team. But I wanted to include it just to make sure that you guys know, start farming them if you want to go all in on the Sensational Six. If you start farming them right now, I'm sure we're going to be getting the rest of them at some point later this year or some point early next year is what I would best guess. And really, guys, they're going to be a solid team. You already have great, synergy with Donald, Daisy, and Goofy, and it's going to only get better, I'm sure, as there's no way Mickey Mouse isn't going to be an awesome character. So that is going to be the 10 teams for today's video. I want you guys to put down in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. Keep commenting on these videos. It's great to have great interaction with you guys. Comment down below, what is your favorite free-to-play team? I want this to get a lot of comments so that people can come to this video and check out other free-to-play teams outside of this top 10 list, my friends. Now, lastly, you notice there's no Oceanics in here. We left off Papa freaking Gantu. How could we, Cozy? Well, let me tell you. Oceanics are not really a free-to-play friendly faction. Now, if you follow the farming guide, Stitch and Triton and Maui and Moana, you'll eventually get those, and then you can really create some powerful Oceanic teams in general. But Bubbles and Gantu are going to be kind of the lone really good Oceanic characters. But once you get Stitch and Triton, you can start getting some great teams out there. There's definitely some solid Oceanic teams. Gantu can be plugged into almost all of these teams to really punch up. You can go back and look at the Oceanic Wall, an old team we used to have. Very solid teams altogether, and they can definitely punch up against great stuff. But for the most part, we really just kept it to Bubbles, and then yes, Gantu as well. So guys, feel free to use Prince Eric. Feel free to use Oceanics. There's plenty of great teams out there. You can swap a lot of characters, like I said, within these teams to create kind of a team of your own that's also going to run really, really well. So, my friends, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. We went through the top 10 free-to-play teams. Again, comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't. I want to hit 10,000 subs by the end of the year, my friends. Thank you so much for coming on over to the Cozy Club. And until next time, my friends, stay cozy.